At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, welcome everybody. You're probably going to guess as to why I'm doing this a little early. It's called the Monday After Show, but if you're listening to me right now, you probably have a pretty good idea as to why I'm doing this now. I want to say, first off, thank you to Patreon supporters and all you guys, of course, the sponsors and what have you. Really glad to still be able to do this over here along with on Hogville. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. 3, 2, 1. Yo. Yeah, I'm not feeling the greatest. You guys recall Friday I was losing my voice. I completely lost it earlier today, and I started, I took a 5-hour energy, and at about 5 o'clock, took some other stuff, and I'm kind of getting my voice back a little bit. Yeah, I feel like shit. I sound like shit. I sound how I feel. I don't feel great. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm doing this tonight because I have no idea how I'm gonna sound tomorrow. I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow. So might as well get out in front of it. We've got a lot to talk about. Mad Max says, like they say in the barbershop, next. Yeah, talking about the transfer portal. And I get maybe the strength conditioning coach, maybe. Do me a favor. Again, like, share, subscribe if you guys are new here. I do appreciate the support. We've not seen since I hopped over to helping out Hogville with their content, and getting that channel started. This channel's growth and all that has completely stopped. So it's not trending in any positive direction, but I still want to keep this channel up and going. I still want to give out stickers. I still want to pump this channel up and all that. And I can do that partly because of your you guys in here now and those of you watching afterwards. So again, I appreciate it. I know the show says Monday after, but we're doing this on a Sunday night. Again, wanted to get out in front of it. Wanted to make sure that you guys have a place where you're getting some of this information, and if I'm not live tomorrow, you'll get it. You'll understand. Ty's not feeling so well. All right. Yeah. Direct Service Overhead, one of the two sponsors. The very first sponsor of this show. They offer same-day services, quality parts and affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. And that's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. And of course, Apex Tattoo Studio, located 615 West Oak Street, Rogers, Arkansas. If you want to get some ink set up, hey, hopefully you didn't get the tattoo of the Razorback leaning on the 3 trophies from a year ago. If you did, they can correct that, or they can add something on to it. Like in 2022, this happened. We went 3 for 3 in the trophies. That's okay. But if you need it corrected or you need that added on, give these guys a call. Someone jokingly told me in a text that they were going to get that tattoo from a year ago, and they're glad they didn't. I thought that was pretty funny. You can still do it. Just put 2021. But Apex Tattoo Studio can hook you up. Give them a call today, 479-278-2694. Again, I apologize. I know my voice is shot to hell. It is. I'm, again, doing the best I can. Geez, Ty, hope you get to feeling better. I appreciate that, Fish. Thank you for the super chat, man. We do have a lot to discuss. Of course, We already know about the strength conditioning coach, or well, a lot of you are already well aware of this. Jamil Walker was terminated from the Arkansas program. A lot of hearsay, a lot of rumors. I can't confirm or deny any of it. I don't know. We just know that he's out. In March, Walker received a raise to $425,000 per year and an extension through February 2024. It was the second consecutive offseason that Walker received a pay raise. But yeah, he's out. You can look to a couple of areas here though. If you're going to talk about, well, what was it on the field? Was there something on the field that didn't resonate? Maybe Sam Pittman and Hunter Yurchek had a conversation. Maybe just knowing that, well, you know what? We were horrible at the goal line. We were not, I think they were better on third down. I mean, their third down conversion rate was higher. They reached all the way up the first 6 games of the year. They were in the top 15, top 13 in third down completion or third down conversion percentage. So they were winning battles one way or another up front, right? I mean, they ran the football really effectively in 2022. They ran the ball effectively last year. That means you were doing something right up front, and that means maybe the strength and conditioning played a role in that. But then we saw the offensive line get its ass completely kicked in the second half of the season. You go back to Liberty, right? You go to this game against Missouri. Missouri has a good defensive line. I told you guys that last week. They're good. But is that a scapegoat kind of termination? Like, we're going to put it on the strength conditioning coach. That's something that I've seen kind of thrown out there. I think someone talked about it in our Discord. I was unable to really keep up with Discord today. We had our Thanksgiving dinner with my in-laws today, so I was not really active in Discord, but I did kind of peep every once in a while and some stuff that people were saying also last night as well. That maybe this morning, not last night, but talking about the possibility of maybe that's kind of played a role into all this. Thanks for all you do, Big Ty. Respect and blessings to you and your family, brother. Do you think we change any of our main coordinators? I think it's highly possible. I think it's very possible that I feel like one for sure is going to go. I mean, that's just a gut instinct. I don't know. Only person that knows right now is Sam Pittman, right? And Hunter Yurchek. I'm sure they're having a conversation as we speak. I appreciate the comment, Blood Diamond. Thank you, man. I really do. That means a lot. I always love hearing that you guys enjoy the content and stuff, because I don't get me wrong, man. I mean, I've got thick skin and all that. I've heard everything, but when you're very analytical like I am, and you kind of see stuff not trending in the great direction on your on what used to be your primary channel, kind of sucks, man. You're like, what the hell? What do I got to change? What do I got to do? I will never get excited for another football season ever again. Lesson learned. This was our year. Says Bot Magnet. Okay. Well, I mean, I can't. Yeah. I'm very disappointed with Pitt. The O-line? Oh, the way the O-line finished the season. It's kind of bizarre, isn't it? The offensive line regressed, and yet the defense actually took a step in a pretty positive direction. The question is, if you get Barry Odom back for a 4th year, if Coach Kennedy comes back to coach the offensive line, I think for the most part, when you have a 1,300-plus yard rusher, and then you see the kind of success that KJ had, some of that you got to give Kendall Browse credit. And you got to give the offensive line credit where credit's due. It's not like they were shit all year. Something happened. A little bit past the halfway mark. It's almost like when Rocket got 1,000 yards. Something about this offense changed a little bit. Something changed. The run blocking changed. The pass blocking was horrendous against Mizzou, a program that's not what they showed at home, and they're on their home turf. They've not shown that that's what they are, that they can get 6-7 sacks in a game. That might have been the most they had all year. I didn't look into that, but it wouldn't shock me. 7 sacks. That's insane. Twice, I think it was twice this year, Arkansas gave up double-digit tackles for loss. I don't know how many times they gave up 3 sacks or more this year. I mean, it's got to be 5 or 6. Spent the whole weekend sick with the flu, Ty. I hate to hear that, man. I hope that's not what this is. I don't know, man. I mean, you can hear it in my voice. My vocal cords are just screwed. I felt like I can't even. I'm trying to swallow this Pepsi Zero. For those of you that shame me for drinking regular soda, I drink the shit out of this stuff. I need to cut it out too. I get it. It's not all good for you. I get it. But it feels at least I can taste it, and it also goes down smooth. And by the way, took a COVID test. It's not COVID. So it could be the early stages of flu, which sucks. I'm sick too, Ty. Hope you get to feeling better. Hey, Josh, you too, man. KJ transferring. I think what would be more likely for KJ would be him going pro than him transferring. I just don't see that cat transferring. Now, I should take that back. We ought to walk that back a little bit. If Kendall Briles does leave, I don't know. That could just be, I don't know. He could transfer. Anything could happen at that point. I feel like if KJ or if Kendall is fired or decides, I think what's more likely is he's probably going to take another job. I don't think they're going to fire him. I think it's more likely he might kind of see the writing on the wall a little bit and maybe take a job he wouldn't normally take. I think his reputation took a little bit of a hit this year. Some of you have asked, what is his reputation as an offensive coordinator? Really, has he just been thriving off of his last name? I don't know if that's entirely fair, but still that has been suggested. Maybe he's just kind of living off his last name a little bit. We can't sit here and act like it was all bad. The offense wasn't all bad. I mean, they were top 15 total offense all year. The areas of concern were red zone scoring and scoring offense. Those are the two things. I saw a Twitter handle. It wasn't Barstool. I don't remember who it was. I don't know. There's so many of them now. One of them talked about they were trying to pump up his resume, but they left off the two most important things, which is red zone scoring and scoring offense. Those two things matter the most. Like, what are we talking about? Okay, great. You can run good plays in between the 20s, right? Up until you get to the 20-yard line. All of a sudden, things the script flips a little bit when you get down inside the red zone. All of a sudden, your offense loses its shit. Now, not all that's on Kendall. Some of that's just, fumbles, interceptions. I think 3 or 4 of KJ's, I think 3 of his picks were in the red zone. Again, don't quote me on that. But also, we've seen some boneheaded plays like that Trey Knox under the center out of motion play, which made no sense. Nobody. Yeah, I know. It's that hindsight thing that we're not supposed to do. I agree. But that really was a head scratcher. Let's be honest. What did we really think we're going to get out of that, right? Some just bizarre moves. Couldn't punch it in. How many times did we see Arkansas down at the 1-yard line where they either fumbled the football or they just couldn't convert on a 3rd or 4th and goal? It happened a lot. And again, that could go back to the strength conditioning situation and maybe why they fired Jamil Walker. Maybe he's a scapegoat. I don't know. Someone would need to talk to him. Where all the fans that kept yelling for this staff to get more raises, says Justin. Christopher Cox says, I don't think the strength conditioning coach had anything to do with it. It's the talent of the players they're recruiting. I support everyone who puts on the Razorback jersey, but we need talent, says Christopher Cox. Frederick Clemens, where'd your comment go? What up, Ty? Half our roster probably transfer. Man, you sound awful. I told you guys, I got to get out in front of this thing. It's not COVID, and I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow morning. I could wake up tomorrow morning and feel like complete ass, right? I'll tell you what I can do because of this. Whatever this is, it's probably sinus. It probably is. But, I mean, I feel like I got hit by a truck. I really do. But here's something I can do. Check this out. Hang on. Let's go to the Patreon screen. Check this out. Autobots, roll out. No, shit. That didn't sound. I did it perfect earlier. I did it perfect. Hang on, let me try it again. Autobots, roll out. Ah, shit, that still ain't it. That ain't it. Damn it. I did it perfectly earlier, sitting in front of the mirror. Sitting in front of the mirror in my bathroom. I did it perfectly. I was like, man, if I'd recorded that, you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known, bro. You would have thought that I was the voice of the actual Optimus Prime. It was on point. Autobots. I can't do it now. I can't do it now. It's probably because I've been stressing on my voice. I'm really not going to have a voice after tonight. If someone is attacking you personally, Ty, they can go off themselves. They can go, F themselves. All you can do is report the news. Oh, brother, let me tell you something. Have you seen the heat that Andrew Hutchinson took on Twitter? Like someone was mad at him for reporting the news. That's what we're paid to do. And then you don't ask hard enough questions, bro. Oh, my gosh. I get it. The media's not always perfect. I get it. You want them to ask harder questions, or you're mad about something they said on Twitter or whatever. Send their asses out, says Festus. If Bryles, now this is a point that Tim made on his call-in. Here. This is a point that Tim made on the call-in show. He said that Kendall Brandon, it was a good point. A lot of you guys agreed with it, which was his situational play calling. And I seem to remember being not real thrilled with it last year. But it was like, you know what? They won 8 regular season games. Beggars can't be choosers at that point. Or at least that was kind of the mentality I think a lot of people had. And I know I had it. Ty, you're doing a great job hiding it. I'm trying, brother. Anyone who's listened to me long enough knows that I do not sound like my normal self. Optimus, is that you? I know you're just saying that, but that's great. I love it. Is that you, Optimus? Autobots. Dude, I used to run around as a kid just saying that. Or, I have the power. I mean, come on, dude. He-Man, the 80s. Come on. Take a shot of whiskey. You'll be cleared right up. I'm telling you. You might be onto something there, Austin. Take some emergency, bro. Yeah. I've taken that stuff before, and it does work. The thing is, doesn't that also pump you up full of, like energy, too? Doesn't it have something in the mix that makes you, full of energy? Because I already took a 5-hour at 5 o'clock. Because my goal is to be in bed before 10 o'clock. So that way the 5-hour... Because I'm fat. I'll just say it. I'm a big dude. The 5-hour does not last 5 hours. It doesn't last 5 hours. It lasts for 3 hours. So I want to be in bed before 10. Maybe catch a little bit of some Sunday night football. Because I'm tired of just being on the couch all weekend, just knocked out. Or feeling like shit. I believe Sam will get a handle on this. Let's talk about this receiver that's on campus. I saw our Discord was talking about it. I was talking to Otis Kirk right as he published this article, actually. Hogs to host, and again, this is on Hogville. But Otis and I, we kind of chatted about it a little bit through text, not much. Hogs to host talented wide receiver Andrew Armstrong. Now, this kid plays at Texas A&M Commerce. They have him listed at 6'6", 189 pounds. He goes on to say in this interview, he says, "I feel my length in route running," or talking about his strengths. They list me. Quote, they list me at 6'6". I'm more like 6'5", 6'4.5". With my length, I feel I feel I'm a great route runner and great hands, great protecting my body at the apex. I tried to do a quick search on YouTube, and I'll be honest, I think I misspelled his damn last name, but I didn't see anything pop up. I saw an older video at the bottom from his... It had to be him, and it had to be from his junior year in high school football. I was trying to find something a little more recent. I'll have to do some more digging on that when I have more time, because I literally just found out about this, I guess, right as Otis posted it. But he had, as soon as this kid went into the portal, he announced on November 22nd and almost immediately gained 17 offers. Now, how do you verify that at this point? Because the way the portal's set up, I mean, you could say, I've been offered by 52 schools. I don't know how the hell you verify. And I'm not calling him a liar at all. I'm just simply saying if anybody asks me, I have no idea. And the same could be said of high school, but in high school it's a little bit different because you can kind of reach out to other, writers from other places and, get a feel for what's going on with how that school is and the offers and so on and so forth. But it's a little bit different, especially when you're talking about this kid coming from Texas A&M Commerce. But he is about 6'5", 6'4.5", according to him. And I love, too, if he's honest about that, I have a feeling, and I love that, too. When someone's like, yeah, no, they've got me way too tall. I've told you guys before, I've talked about this for years. High schools and universities always up these kids like their sizes. They always do. Not all, I shouldn't say always, but a lot of the times, and they'll get caught at the NFL Combine. All of a sudden at the NFL Combine, you'll think someone's like 6 foot, an offensive tackle, 6'7", 350 pounds or whatever, and it turns out he's 6'5", 325. It's also possible they lose some weight, but the height you can't really. Yeah, it happens, and I've seen it, and it's kind of funny. But I love that he's honest about it. He said, "I'm not 6'6". I'm closer to 6'5", 6'4.5". Armstrong also was studying up more on the Razorbacks on Sunday, and again, this is from Otis's article. I don't want to read the whole thing because I want you guys to go read it. But he was reading up on the Razorbacks Sunday and saw where Treylon Burks was taken in the first round of the 2022 draft by the Tennessee Titans. Burks played for Guyton at Arkansas for part of his career. Yes, sir. I was looking at his stats and stuff today. Armstrong, just kind of answering the question there. Armstrong will be a midterm enrollee at his new school, which I think is kind of the case most of the time, I believe, for these kids that go into the portal. Most of the time, or at least you see that more often, they're getting easier access to being here at midterms. He talked about the advantages of going to his new school at the time and instead of waiting until the summer. He said, quote, I feel like getting there early helps with learning and getting to know everybody, the coaches, and the playbook. So when spring and fall comes, everything. That's why I always say, I've been saying this for years, if you're a high school kid, now if you're a portal kid or young man, you need to be at your new school by midterms if you can help it. You need to be here by December, and you need to get enrolled, and you need to be here for spring camp because it's such a big deal. In addition to Arkansas, Armstrong has offers from Wisconsin, Louisville, NC State, Utah, Sam Houston State, Missouri, Virginia Tech. List goes on and on. Miami. So the list just kind of goes on and on. So that is promising. And again, this is just someone who out of high school, I think he was like 6'2", 6'3", and he hit a growth spurt, a couple inches, 2-3 inches. So what to expect this week? Obviously, he's not going to be on campus until, let's see, what is it? I think it's December 9th, I think. Yeah, December 9th. He will be in. Set an official visit to Arkansas for December 9th, the December 9th weekend. So he will be here. That's awesome. That's great. So he'll be here. That's a big deal. I mean, it's clear that this kid has or this young man. I don't want to disrespect anybody. There's some interest there. And clearly Kenny Guyton sees something as well, and Kendall Briles sees something as well. December 10th, just to note, Arkansas, it's a busy week. From the 28th through the 10th for Arkansas basketball. You've got Troy, San Jose State, UNC Greensboro, and then on the 10th you have Oklahoma, but unfortunately that's off campus. That's in Tulsa. Wouldn't it be great if that game were on campus? I have no idea why Arkansas agreed to play there. I have no idea. I don't understand that. Why is this not a home and home? I think I griped about this last year. I don't understand why they do that. Stop taking games away. Why are you playing in Tulsa? Was this like an OU? That's an OU thing to do, right? Nah, we don't want a home and home. To hell with that. We want at least a neutral site in our own damn state. Yeah. Appreciate the retweets as well. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, make sure you slap the like button. KB will leave on his own, Mike. I think that seems like the most likely thing. I guess we just won't know. William Watkins says we're replacing both coordinators. I said as the season went on, it got really hard for me to defend both of them, although I think there's more of a defense for Kendall Browse than there is Barry Odom. I don't agree with all the Barry Odom hate. There were times the offense just completely carried us when the defense was just absolute shit. That became the opposite the second half of the year. I wonder what this team could have looked like had they been consistent week in and week out. What we saw in the final weeks on defense, what would this team have looked like if they played close to that level all year long? What would the win-loss picture look like? Yeah, you lost by, what was it? How many games did you lose by grand total? Was it all 5 by 13, I think? Okay. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You still lost those games. You still lost them at the end of the day. That's one argument. And the fact that they only lost by that amount, okay, that's fine. But I think it was 5 games or four games they lost by 13. I don't know what it was. It doesn't matter. You lost too many games, man. You lost 6 games, and it's just it's hard to recover at some point. And you talk about the morale too. Now, again, going back to what to expect this week, someone had mentioned both the coordinators. I think it was Will said both coordinators are going to be fired this week. You could see changes pretty soon. It's not out of the ordinary that you make a coordinator change before your bowl game. So a lot of things could happen. And I'm going to tell you guys, thanks to the way this whole system works now, I really don't know what this team's going to look like even for their bowl game. I have no idea, man. I don't know what they're going to look like. I don't know who's, you could see someone get terminated and still coach in the bowl game. Or after this season, I'm going to step down. After the season, we're going to make a change. And that coordinator still coach. That has happened before. Yeah, Kelly, I appreciate it, man. I'm all over it, bro. I'm all over it. Trust me. I didn't just come on here feeling like shit. Trust me. I'm all over it. I've got somewhere to be next weekend. So I have to get to feeling better. Believe me, I'm all over it. Liberty loss. Those are the only two we had a shot to pick up. Strength coaches, basically coordinators too. Well, they mean a lot. Strength coaches are, in a lot of ways, kind of the backbone to what you're doing as a football program and the final product on the field. I know someone looked at that, or a lot of people probably looked at the termination of the strength conditioning coach and thought, well, whatever, it's the strength conditioning coach, whatever, right? Whatever. No, that's a bigger loss than I think people realize. I shouldn't say loss. I guess it depends on how you look at it. We talked about earlier some of the issues they had. Is that, do you put that back on strength conditioning? Is it a talent issue on the field? Is it, the position coaches didn't have those guys ready? I don't know, but clearly there's something going on, and they terminated the strength conditioning coach. They terminated Jamil Walker. And there have been players on Twitter that have liked certain things said about Jamil in a positive light. There's been some cryptic stuff going on this week, and you're going to get a whole lot of that. And you're going to have I think you're going to have a very eventful week. Last year, Arkansas ended up with, oh my God, I'm going to have to count this on live chat or live stream. 1, 2. Kellen Burrell, Dorian Gerald ended up coming back. Matial Soli, Lucas Coley, Andrew Parker, Traylon Smith, John David White, a walk-on, but still, look who his little brother is, by the way. Defensive lineman Jalen Williams, if I remember right, that was one that shocked me. Malik Hornsby, but then he took himself out of the portal, I think on the 6th of January. Gregory Brooks and Joseph Fouché. Kendall Catalan, who went to Southern University. Nick Turner went to Toledo. Devin Bush, Ray Curry, Jalen St. John, who then took himself out of the portal. Darian Turner, Jermaine Hamilton Jordan, which was a bizarre one to me as well. JT Towers, local kid. Don't know where he ended up. Andy Boykin, Vito Calvaruso, Solomon Wright. You remember that one? Went to Oklahoma State. And Josh Oglesby. Kind of understandable there. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I mean, that's 20-plus players. Now, they didn't all happen in December. In fact, the only ones in December of 2021 were JT Towers, Andy Boykin, Vito Calvaruso. You had Solomon Wright in the end of November and Josh Oglesby. So really, it starts in November, and it could go all the way past spring. I think they're still eligible. They change these damn rules and make it up as they go. But these guys can really transfer the day after the final spring practice. So it really just begins tomorrow on Monday. That's what this is. It's the beginning. You may not have very much action at all, or that portal could just get full of Razorbacks this week. Anything could happen. But I kept a good track record. Anybody who's on our Discord, if you're in our Discord, we have that list. It's on the Bobby Hopper transfer portal. Hogs in the Bobby Hopper transfer portal. It's on the left side of Discord. You look to the left side. I haven't updated. There's two of them. There's players coming in, players coming out. I haven't updated them. They're all right there for you, laid out when they hit the portal, including the guys that were in and took themselves out. A whole bunch of players. So that is absolutely something that could happen again. And I think that that's just the norm of college football. That's just the norm. That's the new norm. Your roster, your starters, on top of guys graduating, on top of guys going pro early, you're going to be. It could be a completely different program. It could be a completely different football team by next year, and who knows what the hell they're going to look like come bowl game. That is a must. What's a must? Sinus rinse helps a bunch. Never heard of that. Sinus rinse. I was done hard about 2 years ago. Sinus rinse worked a miracle. Okay, I may have to write that down. I'm just getting here. What's up, Tony? But I'm hearing rumors of changes within the coaching staff. Yeah, like we kind of already touched on that a little bit, but there is absolutely going to be some changes. And there's already been changes, right? There's going to be more. I just have such a hard time. That's not anything that I'm being told that Otis or Dudley Dawson or anybody else is telling me, or anyone else that I talk to. That's just based on what we saw and the fact that who returned for a third year. It is really hard for me to see them have no coordinator change going into year 4. Whether that means Kendall Briles is going to take a job he wouldn't normally take. I've heard his name connected to Liberty if Hugh Freeze goes. I've heard his name connected to Cincinnati. I just don't see that happening. Petrino is an OC. Dude, do you know what happened to them this year, Steve? Steve-O? Did you see what happened to Missouri State? Are you sure you – and by the way, it won't ever happen, but he was good in that time, right? In that timeline, in that, early 2010s, that dude's offense at Arkansas was fantastic. What people consider to be the late 2000s, that's so weird for me to say out loud, but what people consider to be the mid and late 2000s, which is like 2005 to 2009, 2010. I mean, that guy was an offensive guru. You kind of wonder if his time just hasn't passed him by. You see that often, too. And maybe they had some injuries at Missouri State. I don't know. But one way or another, they were not very good. This here, college free agency and paying them there is runt the damn game if they're paid no scholarship. Okay. So you're saying you believe that the portal has ruined the game of college football. I would argue that a lot of the chaos that you saw this year was because of the portal. Also because of super seniors, the COVID players, we got an extra year, sure. But this is the new norm. And I'm here for it. I love every bit of it. I'm tired of Alabama, Ohio State. I mean, I would say LSU. I'm tired of these teams. Now, it's not like LSU's had an abundance of success since the portal age or since the playoff age. They do have, I get it, they've played big games. They've won I get that. They've won national championships. I understand that. But, Ed Orgeron had a phenomenal year, right? But I'm still tired of seeing those teams up there. Now, you're still going to have blue-chip schools in the playoffs, right? I don't even want to talk about the playoff scenarios yet because we still got to get through championship weekend. I did say for a while TCU has to win out, and that includes their Big 12 championship to get in. Maybe that's changed a little bit, but I don't think so. Who are they playing in the Big 12 championship? Iowa State? Apparently Auburn is having a coaching search meltdown. Did Hugh Freeze turn them down? From what I understand, if you guys watched him dance around that question yesterday, sure seemed to me like there's an offer on the table. Getting both coordinators back was a contributing factor in our top 10 ranking. Yes, but then you have to answer for the 6-6 record, right? Like, yeah, they got you to the top 10, I would argue, because you didn't play anyone of high quality yet. South Carolina was not playing the kind of South Carolina football that they would play later in the year. Cincinnati, you guys know where I'm at on Cincinnati. I'm so on the fence about calling that a quality win. I guess it is, but not by much. By like a freaking hair, right? I would argue that it was your schedule, similar to Ole Miss, except you actually had to play some tough opponents early on. They didn't. That is the worst non-conference. That was a joke of a non-conference schedule. Don't at me. That was a joke. They got completely exposed in the second half of the season. But they did end up they ended up 8-4. They ended up having a strong year. I think they ended up playing a better brand of football later on. I don't think Arkansas beats them if they played them later in the year. I don't. Arkansas regressed as the year went on, but I also think some of that was it's very possible that they were what they were. Right? Even in those games, Missouri State, they struggled to put those guys away. They struggled to put away Cincinnati. They struggled to put away South Carolina when they weren't playing end-of-the-year South Carolina football. You lost to A&M. I know, LSU did too. That is still bizarre. It's bizarre. It's crazy. This year was so bizarre. LSU's a better football team, and they still lost. But I still, okay, you could say, well, having those guys back is why we were top 10. Sure. You can also make the same argument that having those guys back, you ended up 6-6. I mean, yeah, Sam deserves some criticism there. He would probably admit to that. Oh, yeah, we got out-coached. How often did we hear that? You're right, Kansas State. My bad. It's Kansas State. You're right. My bad. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to be patient with me. I feel like I'm operating at like, if I were a Duracell battery, I'd be at like 20%. Like I just feel like complete shit. Like I feel like I could just fall asleep. Yeah, I told you that 5 hours already wearing off. I can feel it. I can feel the energy just coming out. If Odom actually does get the USF job, oh yeah, South Florida. Has he been connected? Has he been connected to the South Florida job? That'd be interesting. A&M balled out that game. They did, man. A&M. Look, I mean, what was that? What was that? You know what their fans are saying? Oh, that's the glass ceiling for us. We should have been close to that all year. I guess I would say no. I mean, see, and what would we say about A&M? They are what their record says they are, right? Why can't we say that about Arkansas? Why can we say that about Vanderbilt every year? Like, oh, well, they are what their record is. Well, because Vanderbilt's bad every year, Ty. Okay. Then what was A&M this year? And Arkansas wasn't bad. I do think they were better than 6-6, by the way. I think they were a 7-5, 8-4 caliber program. Things just kind of went in the opposite direction. A&M is not going to be dangerous. Who said they are? Oh, Lord. There's Josh in chat. That's Snort King from Discord, by the way. If not anyone else named Josh in here, unless it is Snort King. I don't know. I've never even seen him in here. He has been connected to the USF job. Trey Biddy reported this morning. Okay. Ty, what are your thoughts on KJ potential leaving? I mean, if you're asking me if I think he's going, I would tell you let's wait and see what happens with Kendall Briles, and let's wait and see what happens with the next OC hire. If Kendall leaves, right? I think that's where it kind of starts and ends maybe with KJ. KJ likes playing in this system. He knows that this system pulls out the best in him, right? It allows him to put his athleticism on display. That's what's so great about the veer and shoot, this RPO stuff. That's what's great about it. Now I think KJ, you put him in the air raid, give him some time, I think he could do pretty good in that too. I'm not saying he'd be great. I'm not saying he'd be Will Rogers, but give him a little bit of balance and some decent targets to throw to. KJ is, I think, more cerebral as a passer than people realize. Not saying, again, not calling the cat Aaron Rodgers or I'm not calling him that, but he is a more cerebral quarterback than people give him credit for. Now, whether or not his game translates well to the NFL, that's, I don't know, man. But whoever's in his corner, whoever's whispering in his ear, let's just hope that they really are keeping his best interest at heart. If you asked me, if he were my kid, I don't know. That's tough. We know how that guy runs. I mean, dude, he took a shot in his non-throwing shoulder against Missouri. I don't know if you guys caught that earlier in the game. I called it out on Discord. He took a shot. Like, the way he runs, and that's something he's probably got on his mind. He's aware. That's where the cerebral part goes out the window for him. He just takes off and runs, and he's such a big dude, he's going to take on the contact. That's something to consider, right? I don't know, man. A part of me thinks if he were my kid, I would tell him give the pros a shot if you get the right kind of feedback back. And it's hard for me to see him, the wear and tear that he's taken in this offense over the last 2 years. I don't know. I want that kid to go and make money. That's what I want. I want KJ. Yeah, I'd love for him to come back and be a Razorback. I think this offense needs him. They're in big trouble, I think. Depending on what they do in the portal, we shouldn't panic too much. If they get Kendall back and you don't have KJ back, well, there's going to be a lot of questions. I know people have thrown out the name Jacoby Criswell or, one of the A&M quarterbacks or whatever. They're throwing out all these names. But I think you're in trouble without him for sure. But also, I want what's best for these kids, and what's best is them getting paid. Also, you want them to be prepared for the NFL. That's something he's going to have to ask himself. Like, am I really prepared? Can I elevate my game to that level? And front offices in the NFL, GMs in the NFL see it. Do I have enough positive film? I'll tell you something he did really well this year was throwing the ball outside of the pocket. Did you guys see he led the SEC in pass completion percentage outside of the pocket? Man, that's something the NFL's going to dig for sure. If he were my kid, a part of me thinks I would just tell him, dude, do what's best for you. If you think you're prepared, go pro. And Arkansas is just going to have to figure it out. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I want what's best for him. I don't know that coming back next year, I don't know how much more good it does him. I really don't. Honest to God. Now, I'll think on that throughout the offseason. We'll kind of, we'll watch more film. We'll have fun doing it. Hell, I'll probably do some Discord events. We'll watch KJ throw the football and kind of reflect on that a little bit. But right now, my if I'm firing from the hip, I would say, man, honestly, do what's best for you and what you feel like you're ready for. If you think you need another year, then come back. But I don't know, considering how many shots you take and how willing you are to take on contact, eventually the NFL is going to catch on to that, and they're going to say, well, we're getting a busted tire in our quarterback room. We're getting a kid that's had all these blows in the SEC. I don't know if I want that, I mean, that's something you got to consider. Ooh, air raid. Hey, listen, Austin, that is my favorite offense on NCAA 14. Jane says ain't gonna happen. What's ain't gonna happen, Jane? Clemson quarterback hasn't shown much. This season caused me to self-reflect. I became an enraged buffoon. Triple option or bust on NCAA 14. I hate the option. on NCAA. I hate it. I've never enjoyed playing the triple option. DJU is the worst version of KJ. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, with way more talent around him. Give me a pass first West Coast. Hey, baby, greatest show on turf. That was more or less just West Coast offense, man. And Marshall Faulk involved in the pass game. God dang, don't make me bring it up. And again, for our don't get it twisted. I do want KJ to do what's best for KJ, absolutely. But Arkansas needs that cat back, and fans need him back. I'm just telling you. I don't know that you're going to go out and get a home run at quarterback in the portal. Malik is not ready. He's clearly not ready. Who's up? Who's next? What are you going to do? You're going to tell me that a freshman quarterback is going to come in and crazier things have happened. You've had some freshman quarterbacks do some damage this year. A kid at North Carolina, he's a freshman. I don't know if he's a redshirt or not. I feel like he's a redshirt. That kid at North Carolina that passed up Jacoby Criswell. The offensive personnel would have thrived in an air raid. With the right guy calling the air raid, I think you're probably right. You hate it because you can't stop it. Whatever. I could stop it. Did you guys see the NCAA got pushed back to 2024? I knew it. Because as someone who keeps up with gaming information, as someone who watches gaming content daily almost, we weren't hearing a damn thing about NCAA. Well, they don't call it NCAA anymore. It's EA's college football. We weren't getting much. We weren't getting screenshots. We weren't getting really a whole lot from the developers. I knew something was weird when we were in like October, November, and we weren't hearing a damn thing. Something was weird. I knew right then. And I said it here, I'm pretty sure, either here or maybe in Discord Live. Something's up. And sure enough, they pushed. I knew it was coming. That sucks. That really sucks. I really wanted that out next year. I would hate to make that decision if I were KJ. It's tough, man. The kid loves being a Razorback, and I really do. Like, it is just a game, and I know that's something we're not supposed to say. Fans aren't supposed to say it. Media's not supposed to say it. Some fat guy with a fat mouth on YouTube is not supposed to say it. But it is just a game, and I want that kid to go do. I want him to be able to. I don't know. I think it'd be great for him to go and just have his opportunity and shine right at that next stage. Have an opportunity to make some money, man. And at the same time, you also don't want to push him out the door too soon. Is that the case? I think I saw a little bit of progression from KJ this year. I really do, especially when we were talking about his decision-making outside the pocket was much better. Yeah, he threw picks. I think he threw like 3 interceptions out of the pocket. That's going to happen. I'm pretty sure if I remember right, one of those was a Trey Knox pass that was dropped and it ended up being picked. Trey Knox had that happen twice. One of those was out of the pocket for KJ, and I think the other one was, if I remember right, KJ was rushed a little bit and then kept in the pocket and tried to hold on to the ball a little bit too long, and the pass got deflected. Going back to this Arkansas-Mizzou game really quick, I kind of covered it already, and I covered it on the post-game stuff on Hogville and here. By the way, that call-in, I highly recommend you guys go back and watch that. Post-game call-in show on Tuss Talk. I think it was good. The calls were excellent, as always. What do you guys expect from the offensive line coach? I don't know. I don't know that. What do you mean? What do you expect from an offensive line coach? Adrian's Adventures. Need a follow-up on that, buddy. Not sure what you're talking about. KJ has never thrown an interception that was his fault. No, he definitely has. He has. He's definitely thrown a couple that were his fault for sure. But there's no quarterback in existence that has played as much as he has in college football or at the next level where they haven't thrown some picks. Singleton looks like a stud. Yeah, he does. He does look like a stud. You kind of wish he was, like, bigger. I mean, he's 6'1". And who knows, that might be an over-exaggeration. He might really be like 6 foot. He could hit a growth spurt. He could end up at like 6'3", similar to KJ's size. Kind of wish he was a little bit taller. I kind of like those taller quarterbacks that have an easier time seeing over their line. But, I mean, you've got some short quarterbacks at the next level, sure. And you've had successful quarterbacks that aren't real tall in the college level, sure. Yeah, Caleb Williams is 6'1". You are right. He is a shorter quarterback. But I don't know that he's Caleb Williams. Who knows? And if Kendall sticks around, and that's the other part of that question, isn't it? If Kendall goes, what happens with Singleton? What happens to some of these players? Can they keep all these kids and get them to sign? And I'm going to tell you something. Keep an eye on early signing period as well. Keep an eye on that. If anyone doesn't sign from now on, I think I'm just going to have like a red flag. All right, he didn't sign. What's going on? Keep an eye on that. I'm not going to go into, I'm not hearing stuff. There's rumors floating around that Micah Teese has been, someone else's, I think Oklahoma pulling really hard on Micah Teese, and that's been the case. I don't know if that hasn't ever been the case. Caleb Williams is insanely talented. He is, man. He's a good quarterback. Lincoln Riley is killing it at USC. Drew Brees comes to mind, yeah. Shorter quarterbacks to the next level. Yeah. All right. I'm out. Like my tank, I'm on E, man. I'm done for the evening. I will I'm going to go take some more meds. Try to get some energy for tomorrow. If we have any breaking news, it'll either happen here or on Hogville, but maybe not tomorrow or Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to cover basketball tomorrow or not. It depends on how I'm feeling. But don't expect them. Obviously, this is the Monday after show, so this show is going to, here it is. It's the Monday after show on a Sunday night rather. Just depending on how I'm feeling tomorrow. At this moment, I feel completely zapped, but tomorrow, if I'm feeling better, maybe I'll do the Hogville. I'll do some basketball for Hogville. But if not, you'll know why. So I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really do. Sponsors, shout out to Apex Tattoo Studio, and, of course, Direct Service Overhead, Patreon supporters. If you guys want to join up, I'm telling you something. I'm not here without Patreon supporters and without sponsors. So we're hanging around like 42 is our number. Would really like to get those numbers up. So if you guys are curious about that link should be provided for you down below this video. I do appreciate you guys. Appreciate the patience. My voice is, I can feel it, like my throat. I feel like there's something just grabbing a hold. Yeah. Every one of you guys, I appreciate the patience that you had for me today. I'm going to keep practicing the Autobots thing too. I'm going to keep doing that. But I will see you at some point this week. A heads up, next week, I will be out of town. I will not be here from Sunday on till Friday, I think. I'll probably be home Saturday. I'll try to keep you guys up to date on what kind of content I'm going to be able to do at that point. Which is another reason why I'm trying to get content out for you guys this week, because I know next week I'm not going to be making any content. I will not be here, but just a heads up. All right? Okay. I appreciate you. Going to go get some more meds. Hopefully I get feeling better, and hopefully I'll be able to do some basketball in Hogville for you guys tomorrow. All right? Woo pig, and I will hopefully talk to you sooner than later. Go Hogs.